Spiritual Teaching 172. Love each other. 1. I have covered you with a robe of grace, so that it may be the one that distinguishes you among the peoples and religions of the earth. 2. Only with the practice of my doctrine can you keep clean that garment, which is not material, but rather the one you carry in your spirit, made of light. 3. It is so delicate that even a bad look that reflects bad feelings for your fellow men is capable to print a stain on it. You can already understand that if you commit major faults, then they will not be stains, but scraps that you tear from your clothing. 4. All of you, sprouting from my spirit, were endowed with that garment that is spiritual purity. Who has achieved to keep that grace intact until her return? Who has come out flawless through all the fighting and the temptations? Very few. Most are dressed in rags and many are naked of virtue. 5. Now I have come to cover you, to clothe you again, shedding my light on the spirits. Like an immense mantle I make portions to adorn you. Know, O people, that it is precisely that light by which the world will recognize you. 6. I am freeing you from evil so that you may be worthy of possessing my seed and sowing it. How could I send you naked or ragged, stained or impure to bear witness to my word? 7. Now that you have started a day of regeneration, don't stop. Don't go to sleep in the middle of the path, because then you will slow your spiritual advancement. 8. I want each step that you take within my work to be one more step that it elevates you in your walk, and that you know that each work has a fruit to give you. Do not stop collecting it. Do not settle for sowing and then neglect the harvest. 9. If you really want to become masters in spirituality, you have to be persistent, patient, scholars and observers, because then you will have the opportunity to collect the fruit of your works, with which you will accumulate experience that is light, that is knowledge of true life. 10. Those who teach my work in the world will have to be true connoisseurs of the human being, both in terms of which corresponds to the spirit as with regard to material. 11. An advice to be correct, a word to solve a problem, a judgment to be correct, a teaching to be persuasive will have to come from a spirit of experience, strengthened in the fight and purifying in the good. 12. How many are there in the world who are dedicated to guiding spiritually through the various religions and sects that exist, and that instead of guiding their brothers along the path of truth, they make them lose themselves in the darkness and be cast into the depths of ignorance? Why? Because humanity does not know, because they don't try to understand it. But how can they know humanity if they don't even know themselves? 13. I do not want this to happen to you, beloved disciples of the third era. Look how I come to teach you to first penetrate into your interior, to know yourself intimately, to know how to judge yourselves. See how many tests, large and small, I am submitting you to, so that you can carry out my teachings and truly live my word. When you are ready, when you have been polished by the fine chisel of my justice and my love, then I will send you to your brothers with my message of consolation, hope, and peace. 14. Who can resist the force of truth that springs from your words? Who will not be captivated and moved by the understanding, the indulgence, and the persuasiveness of your advice? There will be faith in hearts, there will be conversion, there will be health and innumerable wonders. That is the fruit I want you to collect. That is the harvest that I hope you raise. Do not be confused. When in my teachings I speak to you about the fruit, it has not been lacking who interpret this word in a completely material way and seek the fruit of their works in the form of adulation, honors, attentions, and even payment in coins. How far is this fruit from being the one I mean by my word? You have already known that I have spoken of the fruit of experience, of purity, of understanding, serenity, and spirituality. 15. Those who still seek rewards on earth through coins and flattery are short-lived spirits. In lower elevation, do not want to contemplate the truth and who are still satisfied with the payment that the world gives. 16. They will awaken from their dreams and realize their nakedness. When they thought they were adorned, and check their spiritual misery. When they believed they had an inexhaustible treasure and felt needy in spirit. 17. Disciples, take care of your clothing. Learn from me so that tomorrow you can and know how to teach your fellow man. Strip your heart of all bad tendencies, turning it into fertile ground, where my word germinates and bears fruit for the joy of your brothers and the glory of your spirit. I am always with you, but you are not always with me. That is why I tell you, when you arrive before the manifestation of my divine light through the spokesperson, be welcome, O crowds eager for wisdom. 18. While you are coming to fulfill an appointment, I present myself to fulfill a promise, and I bless you because you did not leave me talking alone in the desert. 19. I have not found you prepared, because for many centuries humanity, instead of studying my doctrine, he gave himself up to external rites and worship that do not illuminate the path of the Spirit. But I forgive you, and I come to your aid to make you reach the knowledge that is still hidden in my word of the second era. So, when you have assimilated that lesson, I will give you my new message, which will fill you with joy for the essence and wisdom that it will bring you. 20. I want this humanity to stop being the infant in spiritual knowledge, to become the good disciple, so that you understand your responsibility before me in this age of judgment, restitution, and spiritual elevation. 21. And you people will have to give testimony of my teaching with your works of love, so that other peoples arise to the light, which is liberation, truth, and light. 22. For a long time I have been making you enjoy this communication, but I find very few of them prepared, the most deviate from the mission to which they should consecrate all their strength, their love, and their faith, since it will be the cross to lift up and bring you closer to me. 23. If some have not understood my word, it is not because it lacks clarity. It is that they have not known how to prepare their understanding. Until now, they have not felt charity in their hearts. They have not let the essence of my word penetrate your heart, to wake you up to true love. 24. You sometimes complain that the number of followers of my word is slowly increasing. But I tell you that you must complain about yourselves, because you are the ones whose mission is to make the crowds that form grow and multiply in this people. But if your heart lacks faith, if your gifts lack development, if your understanding lack the light of spiritual knowledge, how are you going to move him with your faith and with your love, if those virtues are not developed in the heart? 25. Whoever does not understand will not be able to make others understand. One who does not feel will not be able to feel. Know now why your lips have trembled and wavered when you have had a need to give testimony of my word. 26. He who loves cannot hesitate. He who believes does not fear. The one who feels has many ways of proving his sincerity and his truth. 27. I speak to you incessantly that you must prepare by analyzing my teachings, that you put my word into practice, because I want your steps on this path to be firm. Whoever does not arrive with true spirituality at the time that my word is no longer manifested in this way, and my spiritual world no longer speaks to you through my chosen ones and those who they have not truly understood me, they will be in danger of falling into confusion. They will be on the edge of the abyss. So, why are you afraid that this will happen, when with so much time and on so many occasions I have come to warn you so that you avoid dangers, falls, and tests? 28. It is time for you to meditate on the steps you must take on this path, on how to fulfill your mission of the cleaner and more pleasant way before me, because truly I tell you that those who are inspired by these ideals will be those who come to have a true vision of your future and a certainty of how much you have to accomplish in life. For them there will be abysses, neither darkness nor uncertainties. 29. I want you all to be strong spirits. That is why I speak tirelessly about preparation, meditation, and analysis. 30. I see you repentant, crying in silence when listening to my words, and I bless you, because you have let the essence arrive divine of my teachings to your heart, until today dormant for love, for charity, for good. 31. Your spirit has had an instant of rest that has been a rest in the ordeal it endures through the flesh. 32. How many spirits of those who come before this manifestation had not had a moment of rest since the day that they came to incarnate in that body, until they heard my word for the first time? How many beings only find peace in moments of my communication? I say to them and to all of you, that you continue to enjoy my word with intensity, but that also you think that the day will come when you stop listening to it, and that it will be then when you must get up to test your faith, spirituality, and obedience, in the assurance that then you will see your advancement rewarded with direct communication from spirit to spirit. 33. I have watched you fight with your matter to subdue your reluctance. You have had to fight great battles with your heart to impose obedience and submission. His nature rebels against the dictates of consciousness. But if you persevere in prayer, if you watch, you will make it the best collaborator in spiritual fulfillment. That fight is part of your restitution at this time. 34. All your attributes have been laden from the moment you were created. Intelligence, sensitivity, reason, they have existed in you so that you can fight the final battle. When you have conquered evil and your spirit is guide to the ship, you will be in a position to go in search of your brothers, presenting them a clear example, a true testimony, without showing off strength and dominance. You will show your works, and they will reveal obedience and abide by my laws, and they will be the example that encourages your brothers to follow you along the path of evolution. 35. When you no longer hear my word through the spokesman and your spirit feels anxious to practice what I taught you at this time, each one of my disciples must take the group that is indicated as his own family to teach and guide him. Use charity with them, correct with love and wisdom, make them breathe an atmosphere of peace like this one that you have formed today, and my spirit will be present to inspire and bless you all. 36. Do not ask them, where do they come from, or why are they looking for me? Elijah will lead them when their time has come. Since today I prepare those who are to come in the last hour, and I call blessed those who believe in this word that I have given through human conduit. 37. I am teaching you to be the good taste of the earth, so that you go to sweeten the lives of men with the good news that the Master has manifested himself in this time of pain, and has left his word as an inheritance so that all sustain themselves and live eternally with her. 38. I do not entrust to you the complete transformation of this humanity, but take my word with zeal to the hearts, and she will do wonders. What great comfort your kindred will receive in their days of trial if you teach them to interpret my teaching, and you, how you will long for these hours that you lived close to me, drinking this divine essence, feeling like children to receive from me all my tenderness and my love. 39. Humanity is today a fertile field to work. The lands are very extensive and few workers. How are you going to present to me the spiritual advancement of the generation that inhabits this world today if you do not work diligently? You have a limited time, and there is a lot to prepare. The time is right. Rebuild the temples that have collapsed within hearts. Help rebuild homes. Preach spirituality in your step. Witness with your works. 40. Watch that virtue turns your brothers, that children are a sweet bond between father and mother, and children young people, strong foundation of new generations, husband and wife, image of God and his creation, and that all united to the guardian angels who accompany you, reach perfect harmony with your Father. 41. Your requests come to me. The light that I have shed in your spirit illuminates your being. All your works, they are present and you can judge your merits. The pains that you live now will pass, and peace will shine in the universe. 42. Pray for the nations that are at war. Share your bread and your dress with those who have fallen in disgrace. Open your barns and feed them with true love. Show your brotherhood in this hour of anguish to the world. Practice charity with the sick. Prepare the spirit that will go to the hereafter. Raise the faith of the sad and bring peace to all. Ask and I will do wonders among humanity, with whom I have been in all the ages. Because if you think that I have left my throne for coming to communicate with you, you are in error, because that throne that you imagine does not exist. The thrones are for men who are puffed up and proud. Understand that my spirit does not dwell in a specific place. Being infinite and omnipresent, it is everywhere, in all places, in the spiritual, in the material, and in everything created. 43. Where is that throne that you attribute to me? 44. Do not take my words as reproaches to your poor understanding and knowledge of the truth, because I do not present myself among you to humble you in your littleness, but to raise you up towards the light. 45. Do you think that I do not recognize the evolution and transformation that your knowledge and beliefs have suffered since are you listening to this word? Truly I tell you, I am aware of the steps you take on the spiritual path. 46. When you arrived before my manifestation, you did not believe in my presence through man, because they had made you believe that you could only find me in the images, symbols, and objects consecrated by your religions. Then when despite your lack of faith, you understood that in my lessons there was an essence that illuminated and gave peace to your heart, you recognized that a divine light was manifesting through these creatures destined to transmit my message. 47. A new faith was born in your heart, a new light that gave you the knowledge that man can communicate directly with God. But that was not all. It was necessary for you to come to understand that the mind is not necessary for the Father to speak to you, and you knew that this divine communication through the spokesperson would be temporary, because the time of communication from spirit to spirit would come later, when men had already separated from their worship, their beliefs and practices to the last trace of materialism, fanaticism, and ignorance, and in its place, spirituality. 48. Some of you have already understood, and others are practicing, but you still have a long way to go to reach the goal, from where you can conceive me in my truth, in my reality, no longer through fantasies forged by your human imagination. 49. Stop imagining me on thrones similar to those of the earth. Get rid of the human form that you always attribute to me. Do not try to imagine heaven, because your mind will never be able to conceive it in all its perfection. When you free yourself from everything material, you will feel as if you were breaking the chains that bound you, as if a high wall collapses before your sight, as if a thick mist dissipates, leaving you to contemplate a limitless horizon and an unknown sky, deep and luminous, while accessible to the spirit of goodwill. 50. Some say, God is in heaven. Others say, God dwells in the hereafter. But they don't know what they say, or do they understand what they believe. 51. Certainly, I dwell in heaven, but not in that particular place that you have imagined. I live in the heavens of light, power, love, knowledge, justice, happiness, perfection, and harmony. 52. I am in the hereafter, yes, but beyond human sin, beyond materialism, beyond pride and ignorance and smallness, because I speak to you in a way that your senses perceive me and your mind understands me, not because I arrive from other worlds or dwellings. My spirit dwells in all creation. 53. You have fought a lot and you have needed a lot of time to transform your beliefs and concepts, and you will have to do even more to achieve the spiritual goal to which I have destined you, and which is to know your Father, love and worship Him through the Spirit. Until then, you will begin to sense the true glory of the Spirit, a state of elevation, harmony, peace and well-being that are the true paradise where you will all arrive. 54. Shake hands with each other in friendship, but do it with sincerity. How do you want to be brothers if you know not how to be friends? 55. If you want the Father to dwell among you, it is necessary that you learn to live as brothers. When you manage to give that step on the path of fraternity, your triumph will be rewarded with communication from spirit to spirit, because loving one another, being united in will and thought, I will grant you to communicate by inspiration with your brothers who live in the hereafter of your world. 56. My work is of light. My truth is clear, so that no one will be able to walk in the dark affirming that I am there. 57. At that time when I lived among you, many times at night, when everyone rested, there was no lack of men who would look for me, creeping up to me, fearing to be discovered. They looked for me because they felt remorse for having shouted and scandalized against me while I was speaking to the crowd. And his remorse was more intense when they verified that my word had left a present of peace and light in their hearts, and in their body I had spilled my healing balm. 58. Head down they would appear before me, saying, Master, forgive us. We have recognized that there is truth in your word. I answered them, if you have found that I only speak the truth, why are you hiding? Don't you go out to receive the rays of the sun when it appears? And when have you been ashamed of it? 59. Truly, I tell you, he who loves the truth never hides it, nor denies it, nor he is ashamed of her. 60. I speak to you like this, because many come to listen to me in secret, lying where they go, hiding what they have heard and sometimes denying having been with me. What can you be ashamed of? 61. It is necessary that you learn to speak of my teaching in such a way that you never give rise to being a mockery. Also, it is necessary that you cultivate sincerity, so that when you give testimony of me, you do it with words that are expressions of your heart. That is the seed that always germinates, because it has the essence of the truth that touches the heart and reaches the spirit. 62. My divine message, by depositing it in you, must be transformed into a fraternal message, but so that it impresses and moves the materialistic heart of this humanity, it must be wrapped in the truth that I have revealed to you. If something you hid, if something you kept silent, you will not have given a true testimony of what my revelation has been in the third era. Therefore, you will not be believed. 63. I have come to prove to you that you can remove the blindfold from the ignorant or the stubborn, without harming them, without offense or hurt to either of you. So I want you to do it too. I have tested you on yourselves. Love, forgiveness, patience, and indulgence are stronger than harshness, anathemas, or violence. 64. Keep this lesson, disciples, and do not forget that if you want to call yourselves worthy brothers of your peers, you will have to gather goodness and virtue to pour it out on them. I promise you that when the light shines on earth of the fraternity, I will make my presence felt in a vibrant way in your spirit. My peace be with you.